Hello, and welcome along to episode 4 of Elsewhither, Tales of the Unchained. Today's episode is entitled A Meeting with a Dragon. Can anybody tell me what last week's episode was called and what happened?
Was last week's episode called A Road Well Travelled?
I am excluded.
I mean, I think it was but still, we're pretty close.
The Road Well Travelled.
Road Well Travelled, yeah. I think Jack recapped week 1 as well, so I think you're both excluded. Joe or...
No, it was Josh did one.
Josh did one.
Oh, Jack or
Yeah.
Joe? Take it away.
I mean, if you
I'll do
want.
the first half, you do the second half, because I can't do the second half.
Fair
In
enough.
that case, let's just have Joe recap this week, and Jack, you'll be on the docket next week. Joe, what happened?
Okay.
All the things that happened would include, wow, the bear wasn't until like halfway through, right? I can't remember what happened before the bear. It was just talking with, I think there was a bear that attacked the camp.
Yeah, there was.
There was, yeah, because you were short next week.
Killed it with my hand. But before that was just talking with Boxo, I think, mostly. Something.
I think we were just talking
You could
amongst
been-
each other for a good
Yeah. And, and I made a point of
Okay.
pointing out
I
Boxo's
just
anklet.
realised what's happened. Okay, we're recapping session 2. Last week was where the wild things are.
Yeah.
There was
Where
some
the
wild
wild
things, like
That's right.
lions.
Yeah.
I thought it started with the bear. There were lions in the mountains.
It's definitely frogs,
Yeah.
lions, bears in that order.
Frogs?
Yeah.
That's right, frogs.
Frogs.
Frogs, lions, bears.
I do
Right, then bear.
recall-
Right, and I just couldn't remember what the hell happened before the bear.
No, that's okay. But because we called it the Robot Travel, I was thinking of all the different NPCs you met, but you actually didn't meet any. What were we talking to Boxo about?
The wild things are.
Well, he had been like training in the trees.
That was after the bear fight.
Right, I think so.
Because
yeah,
I
that
was so
right.
shit at it.
Um,
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was just travel.
I don't remember
We had
any of
just
that.
Jumped across the bridge at the end of the previous one.
You'd come
Yeah.
across the bridge
Yeah.
at the end of the previous one, and then you started
Right.
to travel up the hill.
Right. So that was where we encountered various things. Frogs tried to bite us, and then lions tried to bite us, and then we eventually got to a camp. And I don't think anything much more than fighting those things happened. That's why. I think
Indeed,
it's
the
sort of
only
just popping
thing
my
that was
head quickly.
particularly of interest was that you let the lions go,
Right.
and that the frogs, there was a big pile of dead ones
Had been
chopped
hacked up by the
coolest Dragar.
potentially, yes. But then there was the camp and some chatting, and the bear attacked the camp, and we killed that bear, and yeah, we had but somewhere in the bear thing, I guess Boxo had done something like he kept missing badly. I think is really what it came down to, right? Throwing his little daggers of light and psychic power. So he was sort of like, I better go train myself up in the bushes without anybody watching. But then upon returning, this had drawn more attention to himself, and we all sort of asked him various questions and things, and each other a little bit, talked about some things there. Like I said, I brought up his, Valzakis wanted to sort of be like, are you too dumb to unlock those things on your ankles? But obviously they're meaningful to Boxo. He just hadn't brought them up yet. And we know now that they are magical, however. And then eventually we pressed on, I assume, because we knew we were near the waterfall, situation. And so we once we were all figured it out, we sort of creep up to the waterfall a little bit because the water was so loud they couldn't really hear us coming. So we got to where we were pretty close, saw one guard like out on the ledge, kind of behind the waterfall, shot some water into his face and force pushed him off the cliff. Right, which caused him to scream a lot, which alerted them to our presence, but was still totally cool. And then we went in and we started blasting the people in the front area of the cave, and they yelled back to somebody, boss obviously, and said they're using magic or something like that. And so he was like, well, then kill them all. So we killed them all instead. Went towards the back of the cave and discovered this guy who was obviously the one we'd heard about, which is like, so this is your non-rhotic Britishness was fooling me for like 3 weeks of hints of this Damian guy, but like there's an R in there, and I was thinking it was just you were pronouncing Damien weirdly.
No, Damien's pronounced Damien. He's called Damian.
Damian.
Damian, darling. Have you not met him?
You popped it up on the screen and it was like, oh, okay, that's what we're dealing
He's
with.
great friends with Matthews, who I think you have met, right? You have met a Matthew.
Maybe. So anyway, he was, a punk, and he had his glowing green skull. And there's a big illusory version of the glowing green skull in the back of the chamber, and water all falling through and so forth. And him and his brother, in quotes for the moment, were standing there and decided that they would have a chat. And they said we should leave, and we're not capable of handling this. Do you think just because we did a little bit of punching bandits or things, are we going to somehow fix things? And we said, well, whatever. We just don't like you. And so we attacked, and the fight was cut somewhat short. Although there was things going on at first. Of course, I remember mostly what I did. I blopped over to the brother and bit him in the face. I probably would have known some weird things about him at that moment when I had his strange flesh in my mouth.
Like odd meat.
Yeah, and then other people were fighting, and Toothy, although Jack had gone by this point, basically did the toothiest thing possible of standing in the middle and giving everybody crazy banner buffs, because the boost to AC helped a couple of times, I think.
Oh, yes.
It certainly helped me be able to shield something, and I think a few other things. Raywin was in there blasting things with celestial bursts, at least in the outer part of the cave. I know she did that out there, maybe in here as well. I was too focused on various spell nonsenses because I was planning what to do. Eventually, I did that thing, which was to accidentally summon a phantom steed by casting shield, and then when I ran to get on this extremely weird steed, I chaos bolted the main captain guy and critted and psychic energy and blew his head open, which also destroyed the skull and also destroyed the brother, because it turned out the brother had been an animated corpse with his mouth sewn shut. And so they were all dead. And we just, I don't know, rode around on my horse gently in the cave waiting for next session.
There was a horse involved. Ridiculous looking horse, which I think Jack deserves to see the picture of. Move over there. See that picture.
It's only there for an hour, I believe.
No, it's there until long rest, I believe. It states
I
in
think
the Wild
that's
Magic
fine.
roll.
This is Phantom.
No, I think in the Wild Magic roll table it actually says you summon a phantom steed that lasts until your next long rest. I think I've done that with quite a few.
It's fine.
Effects. But yes, Jack, that is what this
there
idiot looks like.
Nice, yeah.
Holy shit.
I'm just trying to get the name of the thing, and I will give you the loot, because I've totally forgotten. Oh, does anyone know what the gem is that looks like blood?
Ruby.
Garnet.
Garnet.
Oh. In D&D. Sorry, I thought you meant like.
Oh yeah. What do you mean in D&D? I don't know what that means.
It has a special, it's like a magic item gem.
No, it's just a regular gemstone, but it says a blood red gem of yada yada. What's it? I thought it was hematite, but that's fucking black.
Bloodstone?
Oh, it's literally called a bloodstone. Okay. Yes, it's got
So
bits of blood in it. Yes, that's what I was looking for.
Oh. See if we got a My Little Pony little watermark thing.
Yes.
Just a reminder that the prices on D&D Beyond are not necessarily always correct. As you go around this, not just divide by 10, like they genuinely can be like completely incorrect in terms of gems and stuff. As you go around this cave, don't worry about writing any of the loot down. I'm going to ping it all at you. You'll see a couple of chests filled with copper pieces and some silver. There's 47 copper and 31 silver in total. You'll also find 5 bloodstone gems side, which are all very neatly arranged on the top of a single chest of riches. On our bandit king lord dude, Damian, he was wearing a fabulous cloak which was sort of like, it looked like a normal green cloak, but you did see when he swirled it, it was almost silver in color. And at the moment, you'll notice a small corner of it is bright red and like velvet, actual crushed velvet. On him was a scimitar that glows slightly, and a wand. If you remember, he was holding a skull, green flames, and both its head and his head exploded. But when you turn him over, you'll find clutched in his hand a tiny little silver skull with green emerald eyes. Green emeralds, 4 eyes. It's definitely magic in some way or other.
And this is aside from the wand, or this is the wand?
Aside from the wand, he's got a wand in his hand,
okay.
Which he didn't use. You don't know what it does. But he's also got that little silver tiny skull. And he also has a non-magical dagger. There are a few other non-magical scimitars, daggers, and light crossbows around. But you will note that he has a bandana and a sleeveless jacket, both of which look magical as well. So his entire getup, his sleeveless jacket, his bandana, and his cloak are all magical, as is his wand. He has one scroll in a scroll case at his hip. On top, and then as you go around the cave, you'll find 5 crates, each holding 20 bottles of green liquid that sort of swirls with an unnatural light. And on top of these bottles in one of the crates are 6 further scrolls.
Wow.
Just in case you didn't take any of that in. 47 copper, 31 silver, which is sort of like 7 gold pieces in total, which is quite a big haul. 5 bloodstones, a wand, 5 crates, 20 bottles of green liquid each. So 100 bottles in total. 6 scrolls in a scroll case and 1 scroll on him, which is separate. You can see pictures of the sleeveless jacket and the colourful cloth if you click on those links. A scimitar that glows slightly. And then, I don't know, 22 odd non-magical weapons. Oh, 2 candles sit where that green skull was. 2 candles sit and glow an unnatural green colour either side that you can pick up. Then there's his cloak and that tiny silver skull. What are you guys up to? What are you guys doing? Who's poking what? Why?
I've never looted a dead man's body before. Suppose as adventurers, this will become commonplace. And then I'll just say that to like out loud and bend down and start sort of like sifting through this guy's things.
What takes your eye? What do you notice?
Well, I mean, certainly as a wizard, you know, the more magical appearing items at first. So the wand and the scroll tucked into his belt will likely be will draw my eye at first for sure.
Yeah, the scroll you pick up, and you can tell that it's quite a powerful scroll. It's sort of, there's an energy to it already, and you see this nasty looking. It's in a dark purple, but it's almost angry on the. And as you pour over it, give me an Arcana check.
I will do that.
The wand, it's very easy without an Arcana check to identify its command word, which is Black of Night.
Black of Night.
Through that,
18 on the Arcana.
Through that, it's pretty easy to identify that the wand is a wand of darkness, which is available on D&D Beyond. It would have 7 charges, but 2 of them are used. So there are 5 charges remaining, 5 casts of darkness as per the darkness spell. Yeah, that is present there. When the last charge is used, the wand is depleted. And with your 18s, you will note that is a 7th level scroll of Dominate Person.
This is very powerful magics. Far beyond my capabilities.
Anyone can use the scroll with a DC 17 Arcana check. If you are a caster that isn't intellect based, you could make that using a different stat.
The DC based on the level of the spell scroll?
Yeah, so it's 10 plus 9.
Yeah, okay.
But Boxo could try and cast it with a DC 17 Arcana check. You don't need to be a spellcaster.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously,
But I would need to be out of level to record this in my book. I imagine.
Oh, to record it in your book? Yes. I mean, technically, no. You can write it into your book. You just won't be
Record
able
it,
to use it
cast it. Yeah.
until the level. So it's no.
Okay.
Okay.
And I imagine maybe as I'm sifting through this stuff, I start to feel that this guy's like, at least his overcoat is a little somewhat magical. So
You've seen these cloaks before. I don't need to check. This is a cloak of many fashions.
oh,
You can tell that because he'd started turning it to a velvet cloak. The corner had already started moving across. I will give you the items identified as well, so don't worry about writing them down.
Yeah.
And as well, the scimitar is a +1 scimitar. You'd note that pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm. I'll toss the scimitar up to, I guess, Toothy if he's standing around.
Oh, yeah? I suppose he's not using it anymore.
It'd be better to use the hands of a hero than a villain.
Yeah, that's true. I suppose it's alright then. Does feel a bit weird though.
Anyone fancy a new cloak?
Vozekis is just like prancing around on the back of the horse, very proud of himself for his immense power. Right, and he looks ridiculous too because he has these tiny little legs, he's mostly just on his big fat tail. So it looks like he's standing on the horse basically as it sort of canters back and forth. And then because he's not particularly observant, I imagine he wouldn't immediately see the little silver skull, and he's mad. He's like, "The only thing I wanted was exploded by my overwhelming show of power. That skull seemed interesting."
Don't be so sure, Verzekis. As I sort of pry open his other hand.
What do you have there?
Get off that high horse and join us down here.
When you said, "What do you have here?" you sounded like a guard in Morrowind. Like, where do you think you're going? like the ordinators. I don't know if you know, but I mean, it was brilliant. It's such a beautiful moment. Yeah. As you look at the skull, Joe, go ahead and give me a charisma-based Arcana check.
Sure. I just have to say, so I say that to Naomi all the time when she's like into something that she shouldn't be at. I'd be like, "Where do you think you're going?" And she'll like,
yeah.
And she'll look at me. I'd be like, and I'll start chasing her, and she'll be like,
yes. It's when you start randomly quoting other guard quotes. "An adventure like you once tonight you can arrow them and me." And she walks past me, she's like, "Fuck that."
So it's only a 9.
Okay, you get that this could be used to make something magical, but you're not sure.
The skull?
Yeah, the little silver skull could potentially be used, maybe even to recreate whatever he was holding or something of magical nature. But right now, none of you are really into art.
I have no opposition
magical
to.
items.
Yeah, I have no opposition to Vilsek taking the skull. I don't think that.
I'm sure I can figure it out in time.
As Pietro says, does anyone want to wear a cloak? I just kind of look down at the rags that I'm wearing. Could I have a look at that?
He has this jacket and some sort of headkerchief as well.
As you hand if you want to hand the sleeveless.
I'll hand it over.
I think it should
have the punk vest.
So it looks like this, the sleeveless jacket.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's a vest.
And
that would be so much cuter on Voxo than a cloak, though. No.
And then also a cloak. But as you hand these 3 items to Voxo, each one of them shrinks to an appropriate size for you. So you know they're proper magical items. All magical items, with the exception of enchanted metal armor, like plate mail or breastplate, will resize to the wearer.
Mm-hmm.
Voxo, go ahead and give me a Arcana check.
Okay, I don't know why I've got a +2 to Arcana.
You're a bright and intelligent lad.
Yeah, it's just the
and because you have regularly perused the wares of merchants within the city, even when you're just sort of idly.
Yeah, I get you.
You've hunted treasure even if you haven't found it, so you've done some research.
That's a 14.
Cool. So this is a heart of the sleeveless. And what that means is it's a luxurious silky material. Feels great. And as soon as you put it on, it turns sort of a little bit of yellow and a little bit of white. Okay, yellow and then white. And then as you see it maybe changing color, you look down, it goes a bit of a black. Because this will change color depending on how you're feeling.
Oh no, it's Boxel's worst nightmare.
It's a mood ring.
It's now flickering between black, purple, and indigo. No, not black. Purple, indigo, and fear, wherever that is, green. Yes,
I just
purple,
throw it.
indigo,
I just nervously throw it on the floor.
Oh, you don't want to wear it at all?
No. I don't want people to know what I'm feeling.
As soon as you throw it off, it becomes a muted blue.
Makes you look fit, though.
I don't want to look fit.
Literally one of the. That's literally one of the. So good properties.
I'll wear it.
Okay. Yeah, as you take it up, I nearly just called you Tabaxi.
Wow.
As you pick it up,
Tabaxi.
Toothy.
Take it up to Baxi.
Yeah, as you pick it up to Baxi, it changes shape to give you 4 legs. No, I'm kidding. As you pick it up, it sizes up. And it's getting a very broad-chested vest. And as you put it on, there's a little bit of yellow and perhaps even a tinge of a sort of a more orangey color as you feel a bit prideful. Almost in anticipation of other people seeing you look quite so fabulous and strapping in this bold vest. You may have a Heart of the Sleeveless. I didn't put this on D&D Beyond because, frankly, it has abs.
Maybe it'll just help me stand out a little bit, make me draw attention in battle.
There's also a wonderful moment where you're sort of charging into battle and it goes from yellow to orange to red as you get closer and you get more angry and more... it's pretty cool. But yeah, if you want to make a custom item on D&D Beyond for that. Oxo, you're left holding a cloak of many colors and a chroma cloth. This chroma cloth can be worn as a bandana. It can also be worn as a scarf. You can choose if it is red, yellow, green, or blue. You can change one color to another, just a mere bit of thought. If you wear it as a headband or a wrap or as a scarf, it will reduce damage to one of the colors based on the color the first time that damage happens. It'll only do it once. It's the first fireball that hits you, but it also counts if you burn your finger on a candle or, it makes no discrepancy to how big the damage is. You can't choose. But yeah, it'll resist the first instance of that damage. So, for example, when you're going to see a bronze dragon and he might breathe lightning at you. Yeah.
But then it doesn't work after the first time?
No, so it's only the first instance, and then the next day again, it'll recharge.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And then
you're level 1, and the 1 instance of damage reduction is cool. Again, I don't think it's on D&D Beyond unless Alora made one for you got one of these in Secret.
Right.
Well, also if she didn't publish it, maybe.
No, homebrew item.
Oh, really? Oh, I don't know. That's awesome.
Provided they have a premium membership. Anyway, so you have worked out that's a chroma cloth, that's a Heart of the Sleeveless, that's a +1 scimitar, that's a cloak of many fashions. Those 2 candles that burn deep green, Belzekis, you've seen these used out on the coast. They are candles of the deep.
Sure.
But specifically green burning candles in the deep. You can't change the color, and you're not sure if that had something to do with the creation of that big illusion.
Right.
Maybe he used them in some sort of ritual past for that. But surely now they're not any use. As you glance over the other 6 scrolls, wizard.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. You will note that they are brimstone infusion. These are all cantrips. Cantrip called brimstone infusion. And through understanding that spell, you will then understand the nature of it. If I am about to ping infusion, so don't ping it. So this is a cantrip, which infuses an ordinary flask of alchemist's fire with magical brimstone, allowing it to be thrown further, deal 2d6 instead of 1d4, and the dex save using your spell DC and something. So there are 6 of these, what you can now assume are 100 flasks of alchemist. Could be 10. In terms of the size of these crates, Toothy, you could definitely carry 1 crate fairly easily, but you'd have to put it down to fight. Obviously, at the moment, you've got the use of a Phantom Steed, so if you wanted to strap a couple to the Phantom Steed for the rest of the day, you could, but you'd have to leave them behind as and when you no longer have a horse, unless you have some other way of carrying it. I think someone has a ritual cast that might be useful.
I do have a horse, currently.
You have a horse?
Yeah, the Phantom Steed, no?
That's what I mean, yeah, but when that disappears, unless you have another magical way of carrying it. Do you have, like,
Tensor's floating disc?
Yeah.
I think I do, actually.
This is one of the few spells that we rewrote the wording for. Yes. Where it can move with you. No limitation.
Did
It's
my
having to be 20 feet away from you.
thing is not-
Funkiest, weirdest thing ever. Not only that, but in regular, like, books and stuff, they describe, for example, drow matron mothers always floating around on floating discs. By technicality in D&D, absolutely impossible.
Yeah, it's weird.
So, yeah, you can just move it with you on it. So you could easily put some crates on a floating disc if you want.
Nice.
You could make a chair out of the crates and have a throne of crates on a floating disc.
And then explode.
I'm so proud of our carpenter right now. Okay, so I
Wood
think...
carver.
Wood carver, yeah. Well, no, that would be carpentry, but yes, you are the wood carver, so that would... what have I left? Okay, I think if I do that and ping it again, it will now have all the identified versions. Oh, except I've now told you what you could make with the thing. Used to create
I didn't see anything.
I didn't look.
something.
I'm not looking at anything. I ain't looking at shit.
Let me reping that. I have written exactly what it could create, but I've now just written something.
Didn't see it.
I now have to put that GM note back. Oh, and create. Okay. Yeah. What are you taking with you? What are you leaving behind?
So I will turn to everyone and sort of say, these crates are filled with alchemist's fire, highly volatile compound. Could prove useful, but would be dangerous to transport.
Then we shouldn't, right?
And we can do so safely, Boxo.
Then why
Well, I'm
would
not
you
carrying
say-
them.
Does anyone want them?
There is a piece of loot I've not given you that might make them slightly more.
Oh.
And I had
Well-
forgotten about it because it's on the brother, and I haven't put the brother's loot here.
Ooh.
Well, what we could leave it here, and right now just not tell anyone that we've dealt with big bandit boss man, Damian. And then be like to one of the merchants along the road, "Hey, come with us, and we will sell you." First of all, we'll set up a little stall, and we'll be like Alchemist Fire Stand, and but we won't have it there, and we'll be like, "Are you interested? We got a fuck ton," and then so if they're interested, then we go get them, and then we sell them.
It sounds like a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. I'm just like, people like money. People like gold.
Perhaps we take a handful then for samples to show.
Yeah, for something, be like, "Hey, we got a whole lot more."
I suppose we could bury them nearby.
Oh, we could bury them. That's pretty smart.
It's decided then.
We'll bury them.
And Pietro will gather like 5 bottles. Hand them.
All right, who has a shovel?
Let me just tell you what the other is, 'cause
Oh.
that might make
Yeah, I
it
mean,
easier.
eventually I would certainly
I mean,
look at the
yeah,
guy
someone-
I bit into and turned out to be
yeah,
undead.
Belzec is probably looking through it.
So there is a hooked obsidian dagger on him that is slightly magical. In that you can make it flare with a sort of slightly sickly light, almost a black light. And I don't know how you'd work this out, but it crits on a 19.
Oh.
That's the only thing that you can tell about it.
Sure.
Hooked obsidian dagger. He also wears a belt, and in that belt you can see he has caltrops, 20 caltrops, a bag of bull bearings, and one of these alchemist flasks. Know this to be an adventurer's,
Oh.
which means that you can throw the flask as a bonus action. Might make them slightly more interesting to carry you around with. I don't think it's an attunement, and it does have an individual 2 pockets to caltrop for bull bearings, so they don't.
Well,
Alright, so okay, so just to do a bit of housekeeping, I left the 100 alchemist fires, but we've taken everything else, and I've left the +1 scimitar because that's in my out of the group loot because I've got that now, and the chroma cloth is Boxo, and the heart of the sleeveless is me again. Is anybody else
I put the little
taking
skull
items
in my
personally?
stuff.
Pardon?
I put the little skull in my stuff.
All right. Take away the skull that used to create
I
something.
will take the Wand of Darkness.
You'll take the Wand of Darkness.
Yeah, and the spell scrolls. I mean,
And the spell scroll-
sorry, just the Dominate Person one.
Just the
You
dominate
can hold
person
on to
one.
the brimstone ones because you could cast it on the flask
Yeah.
even if somebody else was using them. It
True.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
True.
yeah.
You don't have to make
Yeah,
a check to use a
I've-
cantrip scroll.
we've got 'em.
whereas everybody else does.
We've got him.
Yeah, that's true.
We can dish them out as need be. I'm just, it's what's in the group loot tracker.
Boxo, do you dagger?
And I've
I was gonna say if Boxo wasn't interested in the dagger, Pietro would be interested only in the fact that it's made of obsidian, which is a stone that, tickles his fancy.
No, he don't care about no dagger.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll
why would he need a real one?
I'll look at
Exactly.
it or just tuck it into my belt.
As you
It'll-
do
I don't need any
so,
help hitting that accurately.
as you do so, Pietro, you will note that this item does appear to have deeper magic since we unlocked. You level
Unlock.
up. This is a dormant version of an item.
Damn.
If you keep it around to level 17, it'll turn into a legendary item, but
Maybe.
I don't know who the hell would want it. It's maybe
when-
you could use it as a gift for a dragon or something.
Whenever we have a rest, I'll look into it a little deeper and
Okay.
try to figure out what
Alright.
it is exactly. But for now, he'll just sort of tuck it in his belt and think that it looks cool.
How many of these other weapons are you carrying? Are you guys gonna take the scimitars, the regular daggers, the light crossbows, the bolts? Going on there. Light crossbows and bolts.
how many can we carry?
I don't know. How many can you carry?
I can carry
I don't
0
know.
on any of them.
Well,
I
I'm
can
not,
carry
so
a
I'm
fair
not
bit.
enforcing
Probably
encumbrance.
No, I know.
I'm just thinking about logically. I know that was Velzek is saying he will not.
I mean, Pietro will make mention that he could probably magically lift some things, but we would have to stack the box of stuff on the disc and then put like lace.
The
stuff
disc's
on
5 foot wide, isn't it?
Is it 5 foot? I thought it was 3 foot wide.
It might be 3 foot. But even that, 3 foot wide circle is not that small. You can. These boxes are this big. They're not
How
huge.
big? Sorry, I didn't- Oh, I thought
yeah.
they were,
No. So an alchemist's fire, I think it says, is a small glass vial, which I would assume is like a perfume bottle.
100 of those. 100 of them?
Well, no, but each crate is 20, right? So one
Oh,
crate
I
isn't that
thought-
big,
okay.
right? So it's
I'm
5
tripping. I
crates,
thought-
each of 20.
I thought it was 5 crates of 100 each. And I was
Oh, no.
Oh my god.
Oh no, you guys would start Baldur's Gating and
That's a
cheating
very
and
big
blowing up a
box.
dragon. The XP. No, so there's 100 in total, but you could definitely take one crate of 20 away without much.
Okay.
As I said, you can just sort of Puthi can carry one or Rhea can carry it quite easily and just pop it down fighting. Is anybody wearing an adventurer's belt?
Oh yeah, the
Anyone have
adventures.
no bonus
Anyone
action
interested in
worth
that?
using?
I have my
Come and go.
shove stuff, so I have shove things and some spells. Maybe we'll give it to Raywin. She's also here,
Yeah.
by the way, guys.
We
That
could
is true.
technically all carry a light crossbow.
Yeah, I had one from one of the bandit fights,
And you
but
gave
then
it away. Now it's
I
come
gave
back
it away
full
to
circle.
an ex-bandit. Yeah.
Yeah.
mean, I don't
so
know if it-
that's
Fits with Jay's idea of that, but she does do fire stuff. So if she could like
No,
action fire,
like
bonus action fire, it'd be kind of cool.
oh yeah. But we could all just carry like one just to like not use, but
For
just
the
to
transportation of it, yeah, sure.
for the transportation. So
Sure.
that's 5 light crossbows.
Take the
I
light
think there were
crossbow.
And
six.
then
Or is it 5 and
yeah,
5?
but there's 6, but could I carry 2?
Yeah, of course. There's also a hand
Okay.
crossbow.
Oh,
I don't know if anybody has an interest in the sneaky thing. Obviously, you can throw daggers, but
can use
hand
it
crossbow has a
anyway.
lot longer range.
We could all carry 12 daggers easily.
I have this obsidian one. I'm cool.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, Rhea could just strap on 12 daggers, right? Wasting. I'm not too bothered. If you want to take them all, you can. I'm not going to ask you how you're transporting. The only thing I would question is if you tried to take all 100 alchemist fires. Then you'd need a way to transport them. But other than that, you guys could just leave with everything else.
Yeah, we'll just take everything and then one box of those and hide the others.
So it was probably you that opened the treasure box. Upon seeing those 5 bloodstones, just sort of let everybody else see, and or did you try and secrete one?
Yeah, if I was the one that opened it, I would have tried to sneak away one, I think.
So for the rest of you in your group loot, there are 4 bloodstones.
Yeah, okay, I'll chuck that in.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah,
Talov.
obviously, as players, we're aware of what's happening, but as characters,
Yeah, that's all good.
On the way out of this cave, I want to try and look for like some pebbles.
oh, you can get as many as you want.
Okay, cool. Do
So,
they count as ammunition?
for what? Your sling?
Okay, I wanna when I have some
Chromacross
downtime, I
sling
wanna
can be-
fashion the.
You don't have to. It doesn't take downtime. You literally take it off your head and hold it.
The
So
what?
it's just you can just take it the chroma cloth. You don't have to like spend any time to fashion thing. You just hold it. It's the 2 bits.
I swear that's what it says, that you can alternatively fashion it as a sling.
Yeah, which literally means take it off your head, hold the 2.
Yeah, I don't want
ends
it on
and-
my head though.
No, but like if it was on your head, if not, you literally just take the 2 ends and put the stone in it and swing it around. Like it's already sling worthy. You don't have
Alright.
time turning it into. Yeah, 100%. You can.
Okay, cool.
pick
But do
up-
those pebbles
You can pick up
count as ammunition?
limitless ammunition here.
Okay, cool.
So whatever you want. I mean, if we look at the screen, right, there are literally stones all around the waterfall. It's
In
you just pick them
D&D,
up.
all stones are perfect.
Not only, well, I mean, you can throw any stone with a sling. It's just some of them fly better than others. I hadn't. Did I tell you guys about the mushrooms? Did I need to do that still?
At the what?
Did I give you mushrooms?
Yeah, I think we got some mushrooms, didn't we?
In this cave? These mushrooms right here?
I don't think so.
No.
Great, okay.
It's not in the group loot tracker.
No.
I'm very proud of the fact that I have this. So.
I'll be back in 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't believe.
we learning about mushrooms?
We're trying to.
Oh, I have a picture.
I saw it.
That's
No.
that's what.
Oh, cool.
I was right. They are death cap mushrooms.
Mm.
Ooh.
Have these for all the thingies. I haven't quite. But yeah, these mushrooms are. And you can collect 2 pounds. I know you guys aren't alchemizificating, but you might sell them to someone else. And they are called. They're called Blue Toad Shade. That they should have been called. Which is on D&D.
2 LBS.
Yeah, 2 pounds of Blue Toad Shade link there. Dark blue cap with a yellow striped stem. When disturbed, this mushroom lets off a puff of blue. It gives no harm, but it can stain your equipment if not harvested correct. It is often used to color various inks and dyes. Okay, that's a long time spent in a cave. Get out of here.
I wonder if our cleric would be interested in harvesting some.
Yeah, I think is it Jay who has the herbalist's kit?
Probably. Yeah.
If we get in a fight, does somebody want to? Not gonna get. If we did get in a fight, who would want to? Does anybody know cleric well enough to just hold it straight up?
I mean, I've done it. It was a while back.
I've just volunteered.
It's fine. Which is a weird one, but it's fine.
Need to.
Just
Good.
put the fight that's not going to happen after a break.
Yeah, exactly. For the 10, Rare Windsor comes back wearing Blue Toad Shade, but also carrying 2 pounds. Cool. All right, get out of this cave. The music's annoying me. You're annoying me. Get on a mountain. You go. Do I have a picture of the mountain? You begin the journey up. It's not a mountain. Do you want to go up the big hill? You know the dragon is meant to be on top of it. Are there any preparations you are making?
Not if we're just heading straight to it. Like, yeah, no. Nothing that I
So
can think of.
you rested prior to going to this waterfall. Do you guys need a short rest before going up the hill?
It's not going to do me any good.
Yeah, me either.
None of you are hurt?
No. In fact, I'm untouched.
I've
Nope.
actually got
not
extra
really.
HP. I got temp HP biting the guy. I do, however, have no spells.
Yeah, same. No spell slots.
Okay, well that's sort of expected.
There'll be no impressing the dragon with my magical prowess. They're the only kind of impressive I can do that doesn't hurt him anyway, so.
Yes, indeed. I'm assuming you're not going to try and fight a dragon.
Not immediately.
We'll come back for.
Depends on his attitude.
Okay. Is anybody hurt? Joe, Jack, are you hurt?
Little bit, like not much though.
I mean, I think while you were sorting the loot out and things, I'm perfectly happy for you guys to just press the short rest button. I think it makes sense thematically for you to do so.
Cool.
You wouldn't just finish a fight with a bandit lord and go like, right, let's go fight a dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, right.
That makes sense.
Cool. Okay. Begin. You know that this winding path will take you to the top of the hill within the next hour or so. You walking up to where you believe the dragon to be. What are you saying? What are you thinking? What are you feeling? We'll just look in the silence next to the horse.
Do we know the dragon's name? Did anyone figure that one out?
Yes, yes. No, we didn't have, as far as I'm aware, we didn't have record of it, so I have just named him. Again, because I didn't have record of it either. This is probably why, because it was probably something like that. So at the moment, he is Bazolikosa Dronomir. I should say Draconimir. Let me fix that for you. But you do know that it is very uncouth to call a dragon by its name anyway. So provided below in the notes are some of his well-known nicknames: the Eldest, the Ancient One, the Mighty Bronze, Wisdom, the Lightning Lord, Stormcaller, Yandroja, which is Great Father, and the Bronze Mountain.
I see.
I'm actually pretty nervous. I don't know about you guys.
I mean, we traveled to speak to a great worm. It is an honor.
We're going there because he needs us, so I don't feel too out of place.
Yeah. My sister was interested in him because, like, I don't know, I guess she kind of reveres he's, you know, because he's got the name, the Lightning Lord and Stormcaller and stuff, and she's got, like, storm stuff going on of her own. I don't really understand it much. But, yeah, but she talked about him a little bit. None of it I remember, so I'm not useful in any way. I didn't think to keep track of what she was saying, but I never thought it would be useful. But here we are. So little do you know. Yeah. Sorry, I guess I'm talking because I'm nervous.
That's quite all right to do, Santa have no fear. We have dragon kind with us.
Yeah.
Like, sort of look down and box it up.
It's a great honor to be in front of him.
I suppose you will be the one doing all the talking, my boxer.
Why would I do that?
Our great draconic envoy. I mean, that's why we didn't take. What was his name again? Mavros.
You didn't say that I would be doing that.
Why else would you think we needed someone who could speak a draconic?
I
Excuse me.
Oh, sorry.
In Draconic.
You might know things about dragons and perhaps have a few words, but even the Dragonborns don't actually speak the Draconic the dragons speak in the world of Mazrea.
Like ancient draconic. Well, Pietro doesn't know that.
It's made of roars. As you look at Boxer and think of him roaring, questions are asked in your mind.
Yeah.
Has Boxo roared yet?
He squealed for his draconic cry.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Yes, it was a squeal. It was not a roar.
Well, let's just hope this infirm old bastard isn't able to speak. I mean, he could be entirely on his deathbed.
Certainly he knows enough of common to put out some sort of message to others, no?
I wonder how much worse it's gotten.
Is that the right attitude to call him bastard? I don't know if that's the right attitude we go in with this.
Oh, I won't call it to his face. I will shower him with compliments as...
Okay. I'll just, you know.
He deserves respect.
Yeah, because he's an ancient dragon, right? They're like super like important and powerful and, amazing, or you know, they're important. At least that's what my sister got across, that they're important and they deserve respect because of kind of what they are in a way. I guess it's kind of like I don't know whether he's done a lot, this Mr. Lightning Lord. But yeah, maybe they're just born great. I don't really like that. That's kind of like a cop out.
As you are approaching the top of the hill, the Dragonborn is looking towards you. It's like this. And there's an air of almost power and prowess to him. He holds a simple stave in his hand. And across his belt, he's wearing this quite fabulous large leather belt, and then hooked onto it are a couple of what looks to be herbalist or alchemist's pouches, bags, potion bags perhaps. He has a sort of bag slung over his shoulder, but no other weapons other than the stave. You know he must be returning from the dragon himself. Eyes glow with a sort of inner power as he walks. He doesn't greet you, but you may greet him if you wish.
Hail, traveler.
Bravely.
Where do you come from, if I may ask?
Visited the mighty Brums on the hill.
Ah, I thought so. You look like the type.
He might not look it in this picture, but he is a bronze dragon. Mr. Bronze.
We intend to do the same. Have you any news? Did you heal the dragon?
Gives you a grave nod again. I believe he will recover in full. Though travelled this far, should at least take in sight of the magnificent.
What was wrong with him? It was you who fixed him.
His own natural too much of them. You can see he doesn't really say anything more. You may give me an insight check.
I mean, I'm terrible at it, but I will happily try.
Who knows? Maybe you can read at this particular moment.
No, 6.
Yeah, he just seems quite reluctant to say any more. Perhaps he believes the dragon's business is the dragon's own or something. They should return to the temple.
Which temple is that? If we may cross each other's paths again someday.
If a dragonborn could smile indulgently, he would. I'm not sure he can. He's got a very rigid face. The Draconic Temple in Agolimba. As he says this, you sort of realize that he's one of the high priests of the entire Draconic Temple. Like, he's very, very, very important. But he doesn't appear that way. He's quite a, he is wearing a fairly nice coat, but he's not wearing any other majestic trappings. His staff is a simple wooden stave. He seems quite humble.
The ascetic type.
It is a long journey for me. Should be on my way. Blessings be upon you. Each of you. As he stops, he will cast Bless on all 5 of you. Speak well. With respect.
Safe travels to you as well, kind traveler.
Pietro, give me a perception check.
Perception. 13.
When he said, and you, he sort of went to say something. And with a 13, you realize that he almost said your name.
Oh.
And held himself back because he realized you hadn't given it. Off he trots.
You know, I'm not entirely convinced he's actually done anything. Seems a lot of people involved in this situation just sort of believe what's going on with the dragon. Maybe he's not actually well.
What do you mean? He did it! He bloody cured him!
Maybe, but, could be. He just thinks so. I mean, he said himself it's not really over, that it's going to take a long time of the dragon's own healing.
He knows something. That much I'm sure of.
It's good though, is it not?
It's not the best thing for us now, is it?
Oh yeah, I didn't think. No, but we're doing this because we want to help the dragon, right?
Sure.
I give him the look like,
Just
Oh
meeting
yeah,
him would be worth it.
okay. You're doing it because you want money and power and stuff, but that'll come. Like, you're already really powerful.
Agreed.
Yeah, so like, you already done most of the work. Now you just need a bit more.
a little renown would have been nice, though.
There's some other stuff that we can do. We did a good thing already. We took down Damian. That's a pretty. It's not as big as.
Did we
It's
get
not
the
as-
watch?
Yes, you did find the
Okay.
Did we
It
even
may not
complete
be
that
as-
side quest? Is there that feeling is there? Like,
Fucking do that. Oh shit. Totally forgot about the timepiece. Yeah.
so did I.
I mean, taking down Damian and getting a watch, you know, it may not be as much renown as
Saving a cat.
saving a giant, saving a cat may not be as much renowned as saving an ancient, godlike being, but still, it still work well.
It's something.
Nonetheless, we should meet with him.
Yeah,
Them.
yeah. See if we can do anything else for him.
As you head on up the hill, see on the vastest pile of treasure you have ever imagined. Gold, silver, gems the size of Boxo, just lying on the ground. This huge reverie. Beyond anything you've imagined. His single horn is taller than 3 Houthis. His eye is the size. Your Boxo could stand on his eyelash and wouldn't reach the top of his eye. All 5 of you could fit in his mouth with room to spare. As you approach, you have come.
I immediately go down on my knees and just bow, and just say, "It is an honor to see you in person, Master of the Skies."
Fine flatterer's tongue amongst you two. It would seem that my savior has just been. This potion already renders me feeling whole. Well, again, it would seem that I had aged beyond any dragon. Alas, I am feeling elf once more. But you have traveled so far. Come to help me. And with such fine tongue. Unlike those thieves that came. As he says thieves, you can see that he's sort of checking each one of you, making sure you're not going to delve your hand. Lord,
Who would attempt to steal from the great mighty bronze?
Indeed. Ill or not, I soon saw to them. Though I left them told my tales to others. Alas, though, travelers such as you should have reward. Those who do not take, given to you, small dragon.
I very nervously and slowly get to my feet and walk over to him, my hands shaking slightly, so I try and hide them behind my back. But you guys all see that my hands are just
You tremble in fear at the mere thought of my death. Good.
I tremble in awe, your greatness.
Well, a reward for you all. What do you call yourselves?
What do we call ourselves?
I'll look down at the shackles on Boxo's feet from behind him and say, "The Unchained."
Oh, a group title. And your individual name?
My name's Boxo. Death Scale.
Mighty name. For a mighty young dragon. And with that, he sort of motions a little case towards you with his nose. Take it. I had hoped to pass it on. Friend. A bronze dragon born that lived many years alongside me. Traveled. He was one who called me a patron. But alas, he has fallen. Defending my honor from a dragon so good. So there is no one to use the map. It must be you, Boxo of the Unchained. You and your companion. Take it, unravel it. A magnificent work, if I say so myself, enchanted by the greatest bronze dragon in history. That is I. As you unravel the map, it sort of draws itself.
Ooh.
If you think more closely upon immediate places, it will allow you to see them in greater detail. As up to date as your mind knows it to be, should you visit a town that didn't exist before the map, will exist on the map. Should you tear a town down with your mighty claw and breath, town will be removed from. But I have traveled far and wide, long and far. That is my knowledge upon it right now. Graphically correct, though the names of the human towns sometimes pass me by. As you unravel this map, it is, well, a map that I hope you should be ever so slightly familiar.
Oh.
Well,
Hey, I think that was fun.
I thought you meant it's like the map in WoW.
it's,
How it works.
As you see this map, you'll note that the seas and
Hey,
names
look,
of
Chimvaya.
the lands and named in Chimvaya is indeed on this map, which very few maps would show. You see the mountains and the trees and the forests beautifully to scale, but most of the cities nameless. But however, when you think about Gallania in more detail, and you go further forward, you will see it sort of writhes into color, and you'll see Mazrea marked and Dargle Imbar, and even as you go further in and you see Mazrea the last time he flew over it, the details of the houses and buildings, and indeed it seems 2/3 built, as if the last time he passed over it, the Emperor hadn't finished his rebuilding of it. Take this and your victory. Not in pen, but in deed, will affect the world you have been graced. Right now I am feeling as powerful as I ever have. And as he says this, he sort of raises his wings, and every one of you sort of stumbles backwards.
I fall over.
You may choose to fail if you wish, but every other one of you must give me a charisma save.
Oh damn.
I'll just fall back on myself.
I will give myself advantage on this. I believe I can do it on saves.
That's a natural 20.
Yeah, I got 21.
Okay.
Lame.
Pietro, as everyone around you falls to their knees, or stumbles backwards in Boxo's case. DC was 23. Pietro, you sort of stand and are able to choose. Almost the rigidity of your rock-like body is not pushed down by his might and awe as he raises his wings high. The Unchained. Tales will be told. But did you believe that you could change my destiny, heal me, bring me back, the brink of death?
We wanted to try.
Even without the knowledge. It's the right. Tried. Strove for greatness, even when it was beyond you. Some of you may think yourself great and mighty, but you've a long way to go.
Do you have one of these boxes and maps for every band that's coming along? Who've all done as much for you as we have?
Came at a blessed time, and very few who have come in the past weeks have spoke me fair, like this one. He points towards Boxer. No, indeed, a band calling themselves the Band of the Very Dragon. In my tongue, nonetheless, attempted to steal my riches. Felt them the might of my lightning breath.
Charlatans, knaves.
Rogues, all of them.
Breakers of bridges.
He sort of quirks a large-scaled eyebrow at you. Yes, that too. Shame. Who would break a bridge? What an unconscionable thing to do.
Pointless.
Unhelpful. Make a name for yourselves. Be more. Be great. But be somewhere else. With that, he sort of nudges you with a bit of breath and a bit of wing, and you feel yourself almost blown backwards. This map still clutched in Boxo's little broad bit.
You honor us greatly, O ancient one.
I do.
We will take our leave now. Come.
This treasure must be protected. And as you begin to leave, he sort of reaches into the sky, and you see a huge thundercloud begin to hover over the treasure. Lightning striking down into the treasure itself. He sort of pulls the clouds closer and shrouds the entire hill in a storm. He sort of leaps through the cloud, and you hear his voice as he goes off. Stormcaller! Lord of lightning! Might of the skies! The great bronze rises! Feel my power. And you can sort of almost the air itself quakes as his lightning crackles out of his breath. And you are expelled from his treacherous cove. You sit rather humbly upon the grass, almost trembling and unable to move. What doest thou?
Wow.
I must admit it was awe-inspiring. Verzekis.
He barely looks at you.
Surely you can see to the dragon's power.
Yes. Why? Random chance. It's... disappointing. Not
Why?
the dragon, but...
Oh.
Well... It's just...
He's reluctant very much to say anything. So like, and he's like, obviously this he won't be permanently humbled by this, but there's definitely enough of a moment here that he's just sort of, I don't know. It takes him a minute, but he will, I think, sort of say, all my life, I've been, well, as you've seen, quite powerful. But why? Where does it come from? Surely it comes from my own force of will, my own importance, my own strength, but perhaps this is yet one more confirmation that my successes are merely random. Got here at the right time. Pathetic.
Maybe it was always meant to be like this.
But nah, the Lord of Lightning, he could see something in you. He was like, you're gonna do amazing things. And you've done amazing things. We've seen you do amazing things. And he was just like, yeah, you're gonna do more amazing things. And they're probably gonna be even more amazing than the amazing things you've already done.
As he says that, Valzakis' tooth, he says that, you will kind of recognize the arrogance of a great one. And the dragon almost said, because you had been blessed by his presence and his goodwill, that you would do great things.
Right.
He sort of believes that just because he said you will, that you will.
Right.
But there is also an element, if he did say that you would achieve greatness. Either that or you'll die in episode 9 and
Yeah, exactly.
we'll just move on.
I think it is a sign. We are bound now, the 5 of us. Honored by an ancient dragon. I think we owe it to each other to continue our travels. And I'm so sorry, but I need to take this call, guys. I'll be right back.
Yeah, exactly.
Wouldn't be a bad idea for us all to take a break there, actually, for a minute. We're back in 5.
That works for me. Yep.
Hello, and welcome back to the second half of the 4th episode of the campaign of the Elsewhither, of the Tales of the Unchained. And you have been told to set forth and create your tales by a dragon, nonetheless. As you exit out the beautiful, now sort of surrounded, you can see where the clouds have come up and this very stones have risen out the ground, and he's created almost like this sanctuary, this lair for himself. You note through your cartographic earring, Mr. Pietro de Rocco, that there is more than one road leading down this hill. And in fact, that makes sense, because you know the band of the dragon went up the hill, but they didn't come back down the same way. And indeed, Pietro, should you look over Boxo's shoulder as you have the earring in, or should you hold the map?
That shouldn't be too hard. I'm like I'm like double Boxo size.
Easily, yes. So the map that the dragon gave you will update with the topographic information that the cartographer's ring gives you. So you can see like an actual, you can share what you're seeing, basically. Does that make sense?
Yes. This makes sense. These are both Magica items. It makes sense that they would work with each other.
And when you said to me, I'm going to take a cartographic hearing, I was like, that will be rewarded. I know that for a fact. Yeah, so you can see there's a second path down, which might be a more direct route to Mazrea. That being said, you know that traveling across the Wilderlands could be a lot more dangerous. Getting back to the road and heading back via the road would be a lot safer. It wouldn't be all that much longer, so you could head like this, which is about 60 miles instead of 45. An extra 50, maybe an extra half day's traveling, but you could definitely do this journey quite easily back along the roads you've traveled.
So Pietro will explain that to the group, but he'll also add that basically, I definitely think that our friends from the Band of the Dragon went this way. And I'll point towards like the more direct route. If we don't
you
want
know
to
they
bump
went the other route down the hill, But you would know that you can go the other route down the hill and still link back to the road.
Yeah. If we want to get ahead of them, perhaps they must direct the route. Looks like we're gonna cut through some forest, though. So.
Open plains. And in those open plains, there are often roaming creatures that can be quite dangerous.
There you go. Keep your head on a swivel. But that will be his recommendation.
Anybody fundamentally disagree with such a choice?
Nah, we'll be right.
I'm just trying to think of what we might do about those idiots if we go the same way as them and overtake them. Perhaps you're right. We should just try to beat them back to town.
Then we shall go now. No time to rest.
Yeah.
Hey, you're heading down the more direct side of the hill. You can do so. And as you head down the hill, it won't be all that long before you get near the bottom and you hear a familiar voice. Bloody dragon. Knew it was no point going down there. Hear this sort of dragonborn. Well, of course there was a point. We were to witness it die. It just so happened that somebody caused it to be otherwise. I'm not so sure we should have gone. It's all his fault. He shouldn't have tried to steal anything. And as you get in sight, you see that Kraylin has this sort of he's basically wearing a crop top now, and the bottom half is just singed away by lightning. You see he has like a little mark across his back of lightning. His hand is a little withered and burnt. You can see right now that Colette is tending to him with some with some bandages and some salve. And you see Krusk sort of that looking a little morose with his shield in front of him next to a campfire. And yeah, you can see them sort of huddled around the campfire at the bottom of the hill.
Speak of the devil.
Let's go and talk to them.
As you
But
say
then,
this,
like,
you
move
hear
on.
an owl sort of let out a loud hoot, almost directly above your head. You hear Ellis say,
Life.
"Group are coming down the hill. Group from the tavern. The ones you guys tried to join." Yeah.
It'll be fine.
I say we ignore them.
Might as well come down. Krusk sort of yells at you. Owliver's seen you.
Come
I
on,
might as well
Pietro.
reuse it, Josh. He's gone from elsewhere. Owliver was the familiar of a wizard who's recently departed our Friday table.
Oh,
Good
I
for
see,
you.
I see. Yeah, I think Pietro isn't really interested in entertaining these clowns. I think that I don't know that he's trying to hide from them, but definitely don't want to get stuck in a drawn-out conversation.
We'll just say hello
I'm
and
sure-
then move on.
I'm sure Velzekis will say some sort of mean quip as we walk by. So yeah, let's just keep moving.
Yeah, Valzekas, you can gloat because we got rewarded.
We have a more important things to do. No? Let us go.
All right.
As you walk past, they're sort of up on a hill a little bit to the left, so they're off the path. You'd have to sort of almost call out to them.
Okay.
You don't have to walk right next to their camp.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, I am going to call out. And it's going to be like, hello. Yeah, the dragon was cured. All right, we're just going to
Not by
go.
you, though. And not by us.
No. We're just going to go because,
Are you going across the plains? Shouts out.
Well, we could go back the way we came because we can get across the river with no difficulty, but lots of other people around here aren't going to have that luxury.
Told you not to break the bridge. He sort of turns around to Mavalos. Foolish actions. Just causing inconvenience for everyone. If you're going across the plains, you're going to have to deal with giants. Even with Crust Shield at your side, you might find that a bit dangerous.
Well, the
Kind
way
of
we...
giants.
Sorry, Joe, go.
Oh, well, going back the way we came might prove too easy since we've dealt with the bandits.
We dealt with some bandits too.
No, dealt with them, they're gone.
See? That's good. Let's hope they can find some proper work. He sort of sighs. What did you say, Jeff?
Oh, what kind of giants?
Big ones. Mean ones. I don't know their classification, so to speak. And then the little pink-haired wizard sort of pipes up. I think he means to say that mostly hill giants, some stone giants. Usually advised to avoid the plains. That's why the roads are built around it. But if you wanted to go that way, I'm sure you would. I'll be just fine.
And is it your intention to travel the road?
Of course. We can't deal with giants. Nearly got killed by bandits. Ellis got eaten by a frog.
I'm gonna sort of address the party like at a level that they shouldn't be able to.
You can say it very quietly and it won't get hurt. Although if you could speak up slightly because you are very quiet.
Oh yeah, sorry. I don't like them either, but the orc, friendly fellow. I'm inclined to believe his warning.
Have any of you
Oh,
got an intelligence score of 14 and above? That is not.
I've
yet
got
shortlisted.
14.
12.
Yeah, so Boxo, you might have also. I mean, you travelled from Galgalimvar.
Very far south, yeah.
Roads. You probably went with some merchant wagons, but you will have heard of the giants of the Eastern Plains.
Hmm.
You know that those tribes do operate in that area. They don't tend to just randomly attack humans, but should you upset them or get too close, then you'd have problems. Much like the giants of Skyrim.
Yeah.
Don't steal their ham of cheese, and you'll be fine.
I'm gonna walk up the hill towards that party.
You're gonna walk over, okay.
Yeah.
Colette turns. Oh. You're okay.
You should all be ashamed of yourself.
That's so. Is that?
You're trying to steal from a dragon.
Oh, don't look at us. We're not that foolish. Just him. And she points to Kraylin, who she's healing. I did warn him that dragon's treasure might be more than he could resist. He didn't listen and nearly got us all killed.
I'll turn to him. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah, right. Ed was the fool. This is for sure. Foolish indeed. Not quite what I was thinking. Not my just reward, don't worry, lesson learned. But as he says that, give me an insight check.
I'd love to. A 16.
Yeah, you know that he's definitely not going to steal from a dragon anytime soon, but he is looking at what's in your pockets and what's hanging from your belt and he's still a thief.
Yeah, of course. I'm not trying to convert him into something else.
He looks like he's genuinely considering stealing.
Yeah.
From you. And as his sort of hand sinks out a little bit, Colette sort of slaps it and don't even think about it. These people have been nothing but good to us.
As she slaps his hand out, I instinctively summon my dagger, and I point it to him. My hands shake slightly, and then I steady it. Well, stay away from us and stay away from the dragons.
Dragons definitely. You we'll go our way, you go yours, and if they do Indeed, we'll keep our distance. And I won't bother you. We're going back to Mazrea, and so are you, and as fellow adventuring troops, we're likely to take quests from the same places. If we do bump into each other, perhaps cordial civility is at hand.
I meant stay away from our pockets.
Yes, you should do that. Otherwise, you might find you lose your hands. He knows how to handle that. Did you manifest that with your mind?
I, like, with a flourish, make it disappear. I'm going now. And I turn around and walk back down the hill.
As you do, you just hear Mavelos, the Dragonborn, just sort of mighty words. In response to "I'm going now." Yeah.
Did we hear that interaction, or?
You definitely heard the tail end of it, where Boxer said, "I'm going now," and Mavelos said, "Mighty words," and then Krusk sort of looks around at you all and, we don't have to be enemies. If you need the shelter of a fire to catch your breath, you're more than welcome to share in our light. Protect each other, at least temporarily, but if you don't want to understand, especially if that bridge caused you inconvenience, as he says as he looks very sternly at the Golden Dragonborn.
A kind of gesture, Kraska. But I think we will continue for now.
Probably for the best. Some people don't know when to keep their hands to themselves or their words. And he motions first of all towards the rogue and secondly towards the Gold Dragonborn. Travel well, and I hope you don't risk the giants. I'd like to see you again alive sometime.
Good to know that your band has such a level-headed leader there.
Oh, that would be her. He nods towards Colette. He'll keep us all in line.
As I get back to the bottom, I'll just look to everyone. The giants should stay away from us if we stay away from them.
All right.
I'm not in agreement.
Are you headed across the plains then? Direct route possible?
I think so still. If anyone else is freaked out by that, maybe we can conversate, but a little down the road perhaps.
I mean, I'm not scared of any giants, but we'll beat these fools back to town either way now.
My thoughts.
So we could take the road.
This is true.
I guess the question more is, if we go across territory, are we actually trying to avoid the giants or not?
What time of day is it?
You went for the bandit cave at 8 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Opened the loot to check them. So it's probably about 3 p.m. right now?
So we have maybe 5 hours of daylight left.
Yeah,
Less than
maybe.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I think we're in April. Effectively.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Ish. Call it 4.
Yeah, you're in sort of end of winter, early spring, so you're probably right at about sort of 8 o'clock, 8:30 is probably.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have no awareness of any specific hurry other than beating these guys, right? And now, either way we go, we're ahead of them.
Yeah, exactly.
So if we're trying to avoid trouble, I would just assume go the road, and then okay, at worst we see the aftermath of the things we've already dealt with.
For what it's worth, it's very unusual for travelers to travel across land.
Well, I wouldn't mind it if the entire point was, hey, there are some evil giants out there we might need to tangle with. Yeah. I know that's very, very dangerous, but my point is, in character, I would be thinking, well, hey, if we're trying to fuck with some stuff, okay, we'll go the eventful direction. But if the point is to just avoid trouble, if we're going to try to sneak past, we may as well just take the damn road.
That is the rational way of thinking, I think. Pietro would concede.
Back down the road.
I'm going to take anybody's fun away.
You're not going to be taking the fun away. You're giving me
Boxo.
my fun back.
Boxo, did you threaten that man?
Mm-mm. I told them that they shouldn't disrespect the dragons.
A lot of gumption. I'm impressed. Perhaps we chose the right draconic envoys after all.
If kobolds could blush, he would be very pink-cheeked right now. But he just kind of like gives you a very soft smile and a little nod.
That's all.
You can travel on down the road. It's fairly uneventful at first. You do see a couple of mountain cub kits feasting on what looks to be a large deer and their food.
Nice.
You get to the river. You hear no frogs, see no frogs. Remnants of them popped up. You get back down to the road. See a brightly marked pitch trap in the middle of the road, and sort of stumbling around it quite carefully is it. Ahead and give me a straight charisma check. Anybody who thinks they might know stuff about orcs. If anybody speaks orc, has orcish as a marked language, now is the time to say, hey, I know the thing. Is it okay, just a straight charisma check? Great, yeah.
32.
Well, Zekis, immediately you would know that traditionally orcs are evil. But mostly they're evil in that they act on behalf of other evil people. Obviously, you've just met Krusk, and whilst he is a half-orc, he doesn't seem a particularly
Not at all.
But this woman, sorry, I just realised I didn't ping the picture. She has a huge axe, and she's holding it, but she's holding it like 2/3 of the way up near the head. So she's not, in fighting mode, but she's clearly knows how to use it. She's striding quite confidently. As she sees you, she hails with the other hand.
Watch yourselves, depending whose behalf she's here on, she could be dangerous.
Why could she be dangerous?
She's an orc, be quiet. Hello!
Alright? Any of you seen a lad called Darmian? Darmian. Some arsehole bandit twat.
Could you describe
Yeah.
it?
Green eyes, like fires, holding a skull in his hand, quite typically.
Not anymore.
Not anymore? Why? What happened to him? Not on the
Who's
scene as he
asking?
fled.
Who's asking?
Someone seeking vengeance.
Ah,
Something to you.
then I suppose there need not be any seeking any longer.
You fought him.
Perhaps you
killed
would take
him.
some pleasure from standing over his corpse.
Oh no, don't want to get involved with that. He did something to my mind, fucked it proper. Sent me off killing people. I don't want to kill people. Way too much effort.
Tell me, do you still feel this way?
Do what?
Do
I
you
don't
still
understand your
feel
accent. Do I steal? Nah, only sometimes.
No, still feel this way. Does the feeling persist?
Nah. Got about 7 hours down the road, chopped someone's head off, and then stood there wondering why the fuck I was hanging about.
Well, thanks to us, you are free of your mental prison.
Thanks to you. Why didn't he fuck with your brains? No
I'll
offence,
try.
but some of you don't look like you've got much willpower, like. Looks down at Oxo and to the very fluffy cat.
More than you know.
Ah, it seemed that way. Well, I was saving this for him, but in that case, you can have it. Here. Careful, don't chuck it too hard. And she chucks you a little pouch. Tricks up my sleeve, they were. Whatever, have them yourself. And thanks. My axe is for other tasks.
Can I look to see what's inside the pouch?
3 glass beads. They are magic.
What? They are? Okay.
Throw them at your enemies. Well away from your friends. Stick them in a bubble and laugh at them.
Who are you?
Name's Bo. Mercenary. Fighter on behalf of those that can't fight for themselves. Left me clan I did, 6 years old. Chopped me mother's head off. Damn bitch. I don't brook no evil like the rest of them. I do things my way. Not saying I'm all goody two-shoes and that, but, you know, got a code of honour. You know what I mean?
I can respect that.
You'd better. Or Sally'll speak. She waves her axe.
I want to
travel.
be you.
No, you don't. Trust me. Can't get into cities or towns, me. Alright, Payne. Have to send others to do my shopping. All because
Why
of the colour
not?
of my skin. People think
What
they
is that?
think evil. And they're usually right. Ain't the case of Bo.
Huh.
Nah, you stick with your fluffy skin. People will like you, pet you, treat you nice, wouldn't they? Wouldn't be too bad. I bet they'll let you in a brothel.
What's a brothel?
Oh, you still got to learn. Why don't you ask when you get back to town, see if someone can sort you out?
Pietro definitely chuckles out loud when Tooth says, "What's a
Your
problem?"
friend knows. He'll tell you on the way out. Alright, well. Safe travels, don't fall down the hole. Someone's marked it off. Useful travellers.
Where do you go now, Bo?
Aye, that's a good question, you know. Where do I go now? Was on my way to that Darmium twat. Nah, not so sure. Someone healed a fucking dragon. Someone slayed the bandit. I don't know. Don't have me ass from my elbow right now. Why go to Nisai? Oh yeah, there's some fishing boats out there that deal with pirates. I'll swing my axe on their behalf if they pay well enough.
I've been there. It's really nice.
Always wanted to see the seas. You been out on sea on a boat?
No. I've just been to Nasai.
Oh. Well, I doubt they'll let me in, but I can get down to the harbour my own way. And after that, maybe they'll let me sail a boat on behalf of pirate hunters or something. Make a decent card. I reckon I'll be good in a boat. These don't judge, do they? Anyway, safe journeys to you all.
And to you.
Fucking slayed Darmian. Little dragon dude as well. Oh. Wanders off, swinging her axe. Oh, trots off into the distance. You're behind.
What's the deal with the color of her skin thing? Why can't she get into the city?
I'll look over at Boxo, let him. I'm sorry, not Boxo. Velzakis to let him explain.
Well, you see, orcs, the color's just the fact that she's an orc, you see, and quite as she said, quite often, evil are working for evil folks. And so they're not well liked.
This is the
But they're not
general
always.
consensus across Mazrea, as far as I know.
Okay, but they're not always. Right? Because she wasn't.
Not as far as I can tell.
In the same way that a hungry wolf may not always attack a traveler, but more often than not.
Well, so it's not their fault if they're just like hungry wolves. It's like the lions.
But it's not
fair-
about blame, it's about not being eaten.
Yeah, but like I've seen Mazrea. Like that's the most amazing place I've ever seen in my life. Surely they can like do something.
You've never
about,
been
like,
to the homeland. You've
my
must
homeland.
be. No, the homeland, my home. You remember?
Oh yeah, your home's called Homeland. That's kind of confusing. Sorry.
Can be. We have a name for it in the Genasi tongue, but.
My God.
Okay. So I'm just RP.
The city has done. The cities, they do. This is what they do about it. They don't let them in. At least some of the time.
Yeah, but that doesn't like. That's like not fair on like the ones who don't have a say in it. That's not fair for the ones who aren't the starving wolf who attacks the people. That just doesn't make sense to me.
And the intricacies of the human populace are beyond that of the animal kingdom, Tooth. It's not so simple, after all.
But I agree with you, it's idiotic if they're not taking advantage of those among them who could be helpful.
What's a brothel?
Perhaps it's better to show you on our way to Mazrea.
Your way?
Alright.
Right, like let's be on our
Oh, right, okay. I was going to say, I don't know where you're going to find a brothel on that road. But yeah.
pretty crusty brothel, I think.
You continue on down the road. And a little bit further, you see you can re-enter the woods. And in the woodland, one calls out to you. Hey! Hey, you! You again! Sitting in a tree
Oh.
in this forest.
Yeah.
Hello.
Came back. Why?
Lucky you.
Why?
Well,
We.
of all the people you could have seen, you see us again.
That make me lucky.
Have the trees been well?
No. No, not at all. I didn't realize you'd understand. The old ones are getting older. Much older. And too quickly.
Quickly. How do you
Only
know?
the really ancient ones. They went from old, which is how they should be. Usually they go through a period of slow drooping and not taking quite as much water. Then, over time, they become the eldest. And then they pass. But those who were already the eldest passed so quickly they couldn't say their goodbyes. Usual.
Fozekis rolls his eyes at this similarity to the situation and just goes,
Maybe you should call that priest from the Dragon Temple. Seems to know what to do with this sort of problem. Did he pass this way?
No, I don't think so.
Well, he seems to have cured the dragon of quite a similar problem.
Dragon was taking on.
He was
Dragon
quite
was
old and
dying
then
of age.
older than he should have been suddenly, sort of thing.
Oh! I'm not sure that Dragons like trees.
Well, they seem to be quite ancient and yet not clearly ready to die.
Trees die when they get old. Dragons don't. Right? They just get bigger. What?
I guess
We have a
it's
children's story back home about when dragons die, they turn into trees. But it's
Lovely
just kind of
thought,
just,
But it's incorrect.
yeah, it's just nonsense for children.
Lots of truth in those tales. Maybe their bodies become with the earth, and then the earth goes to the tree. Weird. Anyway, you don't seem as tree people. Otherwise, you would have moved that tree before, without using your hands. I mean, well, maybe I should speak with the dryads. Have you met a dryad before?
I would look at Terea, but she's not here, so.
No, none of you would have met a dryad. You would have passed through their woods, but they wouldn't have with you unless you went through in mating season. Oh, well, they know the trees best. Are you going to the big city?
Yeah.
If by big city you mean Mazrea.
Big one. They chopped a lot of trees to build it. When you go, there's a woman. She's an alchemist. She comes to the forest sometimes to collect different ingredients to her potions. Dragon Ball. She knows lots about. Tell her the old ones are dying. She might know what to do.
Do you have a name?
She's the only alchemist in this. The only one with a big shop. No, Dragonborn, I don't know her name. As she says this, you've got memories of a woman who you barged in upon before she started work, and all the pieces begin to connect.
I know the place.
Oh well, come now, make a path. And as she says this, like, a few branches just move out, and she makes a nice little corridor directly through them. To cut you onto the next bit of path.
I way back.
Move on through the forest. Begins to sort of get dark. 8:30, 9 o'clock, the sun is setting. There's a little hillside where you could perhaps move up to make a safe camp.
Sure.
I mean, are we within a reasonable distance to Mazrea that we could continue through the night, or?
You would arrive tomorrow evening.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a
If-
couple of days.
Yeah, okay, so then absolutely.
It'll take you another 40 miles you've got to go.
Yeah.
If you leave tomorrow early, you'll get there tomorrow late.
Mhm.
To get to the campsite. Yourselves comfortable. I'm sure that Rhea will. Does anybody hunt for meat? Do that? For you, he doesn't what you've got. I think there is some dried. Wait, what did you guys dry?
Bear.
Oh, bear.
Pheasant.
Yeah, the bear. That's right.
Bear,
That's
yes. So there's plenty of dried bear meat. If you don't feel like
Oh. Bear meat
Chop
it
it up,
is.
make a stew or something.
bear meat in it.
Bear meat.
Couldn't resist. Sorry. That's such a British thing as well. Yeah. Raywin will use that meat then. Yeah, it's a hearty meal. Again, being the bear meat, will give you advantage on any strength checks. I think it's strength and constitution check.
Okay.
I don't know what a constitution check would be. Never happens. It's, you've got advantage until you have a long rest, which will be in about 20 minutes. As you sit around the campfire. What about you?
I think that just like if we're having a little bit of quiet time, Pietro's probably sort of like honed in on this strange obsidian knife that he's found. Trying to figure out what magics inhabit it, because they are strange, seemingly.
Yeah, I mean, mechanically, you'll be able to tell that it counts as magical for the purpose of overcoming resistance. Crits on a 19, and it can let out 15 foot of dim light. That is all. But you can see that inside, it's got a hunger to it. It's not going to eat souls or anything cool like that, but it might one day do more. Grow, but
It's not fucking with my mind or anything, though.
no, it's definitely not sent.
Okay.
Doesn't require attunement either.
Can
I gain spell casting. How does that resonate with me?
That's totally up to you how you see that happen. So this could be you calling on an inner power and it presenting in a real form. It could be you commanding and shouting and it happening, or you could feel divinely inspired, or you could just shout something and it happens and you get a bit surprised. I don't know.
Did it happen? Did anybody use any smites or anything last session?
I don't think you hit anything.
Okay.
Josh was running you. I
Hey,
think.
cool.
Yeah, Josh, you didn't hit anything, did you? I think you swung and missed.
No, I definitely didn't use any magic or anything.
Cool. So it's all dormant right now. Sweet.
Yes. There was no divinities, channels, no anythings.
Good to know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you got in there, got smacked, missed, and then the fight ended. That was pretty much the entire duration of it.
That's awesome.
You threw a javelin. What happened?
It's true.
Ah, yeah.
Go. As you turn at the campfire, get yourselves ready for the following day. In the morning, the warm smell of meat is upon the fire. You may hit the long rest button. Nothing happens during the night at all, except an owl flies fairly near and hoots a bit and then leaves. Comes Dreamrise the 7th at 7 a.m. Or perhaps even 6, but I'll leave it at 7. And bright and early, the sun rises, and you guys can have a sunrise picture. There we go. You can see the sun rising up ahead of you in the distance. It's like a nice early brisk morning. It's very, very cold.
Raywin. Perhaps a hearty breakfast.
A warm stew. She will get on that. See whether she can help you avoid the warmth. And indeed, she will give you something that makes you feel a bit insulated and warm. It'll give you advantage on any constitution saves against cold weather, which is basically not going to have an effect today, but it's nice to know she could do it in future. She'll chuck in some of those mushrooms and whatever else seems nice. And herby.
Any HP modifiers?
No, 14 is the mark. It's anything above 14 that you get, so.
Okay.
I'm rolling like shit today. Sorry, Raywin. Yeah, as you're packing up the campsite, can I have an investigation check, please, from Boxo and Valzakis?
A 17.
19.
Yeah, so both of you would find these. As you're sort of pulling your tents away or whatever way you were camping on the ground. And, by the way, your phantom steed disappeared at the end of the night.
Yeah.
You just notice this sort of dark red, looks like a sort of strange coloured soil at first, but then you put it away and there really is some actual dark red there. It's almost like a crystal just beneath the ground. It definitely has no magical properties, but polished it could be worth something. Potentially could be used for other decorative purposes.
Take some of that out.
Yeah, it ends up being sort of the 2 or 3 large, sort of, hold them in your hand, rocks of this crystal. And bits of it could be cut away. And when you notice, even like sort of with a bit of spit and a thumb, it starts to like look really almost slightly translucent. It's very crystal clear inside. Both of you can take a rock each, and third one hanging about.
What have you found there?
There's perhaps something you might know more about. Some sort of translucent red stone. It's a bit crystalline. Attractive, in a way.
Have a bit of a look. Rub it.
Yeah, you look at the third one. You've not seen crystal like this before, but you've not seen this crystal before, but you have seen crystals that are a little similar in Gallania, the land of the gnomes, where you may have travelled over, because it's a place where some of the crystal is extracted for the purpose of stonework, as your masonry work. So you have seen these like translucent crystals. You know that it has no magical property at all. It's too light to be used for any actual, breastwork or work upon the stone, but you've seen similar ones in turquoise and blue, which typically get worn by more tribal people as jewelry. They might drive a small hole through it and then put it on a piece of string, something like that. It's usually used as fairly basic jewelry. Occasionally you will see little bits of this as adornment on like a leather bag or something, but it's purely decorative.
This good looking, nice, inlaid. Nothing inherently magical about it. It's fine.
I've seen similar on the sort of folk who care about their appearance but don't actually have quite a lot of money to throw my way at shows and things. But
oh, that's really interesting, actually. I've just thought about that. Velzekis, give me a... I really wish there was like a knowledge of people and stuff check.
I know, yeah.
It's really
there is
annoying
some
that there isn't.
systems.
So I think what we'll do is we'll say a charisma check with proficiency.
Okay.
Whatever that is. I don't know if you're proficient in any charisma checky stuff. But
Yeah, I'll just use persuasion.
Yeah, persuasion check. Persuade me that you know this shit. You do know
22.
This shit. 22. Yeah, so you've seen fortune tellers and sometimes some other... I think Velzekis might regard them as kind of charlatans, really.
Right.
But they're people in sort of those sort of circusy or folky atmospheres where you might also apply your trade, who believe in the healing power of crystals. Now, it may exist or may not, and certainly if anybody believes in that in real life, I'm not disparaging or encouraging that. Yeah, you'd know that they sort of believe in the healing powers of crystals, but none of them seem to have the same beliefs as the next one down the road. So, if one of them's right, the others are wrong. But they often have these crystals, and like they'll sell them for much more than they're worth, telling you that they'll, I don't know, solve your knee problems.
Sure.
Would my people have them?
No, wrong place in the world. You
Cool.
need this sort of dry plains with the hills, and you guys are much more deserty.
Cool.
And when Petra says that it's fine, he basically means like it's not like, a rarefied gem that is worth.
It's not fine. It's fine.
Yeah, you get a handful of coppers for a piece of jewelry with this. On, but it's nice and it's there and it's something you can play with and work with and keep or not. It's also a hefty sized thing you could throw at someone's head if you really want.
How big is the tiny little skull, by the way?
Oh, and perhaps an inch and a half in height.
Sure, but still
Very
bigger than like... Yeah, but it's not going to be like one bead on a bracelet.
Oh, hell no. No. You would imagine it might pop a scepter or staff. Not
Sure.
not a... You could wear it on a necklace, but it would be quite heavy. It's solid silver. So, I mean, anybody who's got a pebble of solid silver, it weighs a lot. You could definitely sell it. It definitely has a monetary worth just for the silver and gems.
But I'm not sitting. I was like, well, maybe I'm sitting there going, well, I could make a bracelet out of the several of these red gems and a little skull. But
You could for a giant.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
We went the wrong way after all.
You did. Yeah. As you guys head out and travel along the road, who's carrying the dragon map? Who is anyone? Is Boxer very partial to that? Is he let anyone have a look? Has he let anyone carry it? Is it like secured to his side? Like
I mean, he'd like to be the one who's carrying it, and I think he would be very protective of it. However, I'm not going to fight anyone who wants to look at it or carry it.
Well, I wonder if perhaps at the end of the night / the beginning of the morning, you might use it just to assess the journey you're going to have. Especially as in doing so, you, Boxer, will note that Pietro's earring fills it with some information when he looks at it. So your map would get more detail on it. See what I mean? If that could...
And far be it from Pietro to take away, a gift from Boxo that he received from one of his,
Well, I want to make it very clear, it is the group thing, and it needs to be the group thing. So if you could make it some sort of group ritual, it would help this DM.
Certainly, yeah.
Fantastic. Brilliant. When you're looking at the map that morning, you will note that there is, sort of just uphill from you, there is this big... I don't know what that is. A dip? Yeah, sure. What looks like it should be a hill actually has a massive crevice in the top.
And it only shows up on the map before my earring sort of.
It's your earring that shows it on the map.
Oh, place is not did not appear initially. Did you see Boxo?
It wasn't there before.
Perhaps we can take a look. Often we find a place a dragon has not seen.
Okay. You guys want to go up?
Why not?
It is something you'd need to climb or walk a long way around. Does anybody have any hill climbing ability? Does anybody just hover and hope somebody else...
No, but if you want to jump us 7 levels, I can teleport.
People can teleport at level 1?
If it's considered difficult terrain, then I don't suffer the effects of difficult terrain.
No, it is genuinely a climb. So unless you have a climbing speed? Who has a climbing speed? Tree climber Toothy.
That's me.
If Toothy climbs up and secures a rope, the rest of you can just go without any check. Cool.
I can do that.
Toothy, you crest the hill, put the rope. I'm sure that this guy just hovers, pulls himself up the rope at the same time. Elzekis, are you going up the hill or not?
Yeah, I go up. I mean, the ditch beneath the dragon's notice, who would have thought, but...
No, I want to make it really clear. This crevice is like half a mile deep. It's not a small thing at all. You know that it's bizarre. You would expect it to be one wide hill, and instead it's just this massive crevice. And Boxer, you go up, I assume?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, cool. So the whole group of you go up the hill, and as you peer down into the crevice, you see 30 dwarves. Fast asleep, all lying next to each other. One dwarf is standing there with his arms folded, his head like this, side of his shoulder. See him sort of blink himself awake. Lads, we've got company. Up and at it, the lot of you! He sort of shouts, and immediately all the 30 dwarves sort of stand up and look up, and you can see they've all got pickaxes and other mining tools. Coming down, or am I coming up?
Hello, down there.
Oh, up there! You coming down, or am I coming up?
Is there a safer way down?
No.
Then come up.
Aye. And he sort of reaches down, and he takes 2 small mining picks, and just... It's almost like he's walking. He comes up so fast. Stands next to you. Lionel Jazra at your service. Reaches out for your hand.
Pietro di Rocco.
Hi. Rocco. Gallania. Family do rocket and stuff, don't you?
It's correct.
Got a fair bit. It's what else was
You get around then.
I came to this god-forbidden dragon country, didn't we? Far for some emperor that doesn't fucking exist.
I know your plight, Lionel.
He was horrible, if it makes any of you feel better.
He was paying. He's not.
Looking for a new employer or...
No, not at all. Asks me out. Well, me and my boys, you see. Used to be, well, this is Clan Mazrea, I guess. My father, he fell on the way here. It's up to me. Establish a new clan. It's gold in these hills.
My condolences.
It was his time. There's gold in these hills, you know. Deep, deep down.
That's pretty deep.
But not friend.
There are some minor red crystals closer to the surface, I'm sure you've seen.
Left us. Oh, that's a petty trinket. Not for these. With that, he sort of takes out this beautiful hammer made of mithril. Slaps it. You know that is really a very beautiful and pricey piece of work. And it's a bit of work.
To find some in these lands, then.
To find the gold to purchase it, to work the metal, to make the weapons. Not enough dwarfs in Gallania. Will be soon. It's just a place to buy and sell anything. Pick our name, we will.
You the best of luck.
Just wish we had a way of clearing this muck quicker. He sort of gestures down, and you'll see that it's like clay. So for every bit they dig, more of it just sort of tumbles in. We used to blow it up. Our alchemist. Yeah, and
Do you use as your medium?
who what?
How do you use...
Don't know, I'm not the alchemist, he just blows it up. Boom. Big explosion. You'd know enough about the process to know that, if, in case it's crossing your mind, alchemist's fire isn't it. What he's looking for is like a proper blast of force explosion. Oh, with an alchemist in Mazrea that said she only dealt in things that do good for the world. Needs to get down with her fucking right horse, she does. Gold does good for everyone.
So I'm told. Well, best of luck to you.
All world, he says as he climbs back down. The Rockwell family out there, you know. He scampers back down and leaves you guys to it. You do know that when you came by this way, the first time your cartographic earring didn't pick up that hill. They've done that in like 24 hours. They've been at it like 32 hours. There was a reason why they were fast asleep at the bottom of the clay.
As he leaves, I'll sort of turn to them and say, turn to like my friends and say, it'll be deeper than the distance to Mazrea from here within a day. don't suspect we'll see them again.
Wow. If gold's so good, then like it's not good to not have it. But if you don't need it in the first place, why is it so good? Like, because we didn't always have gold. It's not like gold started with everyone when the world was the world was created. Like, gold existed, but not like the little gold coins that we use. So, like, you only have a lack of gold if there is gold.
Yes.
So is it that good?
I don't think it's necessarily a bad.
I'm dubious.
That's one word for it.
I learned that word from Raya.
Allison gives you a small nod.
Well, without the gold, the men of this world will not be able to travel to their favorite brothels, so perhaps that is the reason.
Brothels must be really good then. Do you get like really good food there or something?
But it's much less to do with soup than you might think.
We'll say, yeah, it satisfies other hungers.
Like hunger for gold?
For the people working there, yes.
Come,
don't
my
get
young
it.
friend. You have much to learn. And if you
All
really
right.
want, Pietro can explain the birds and the bees.
No. Oh, you show me.
He wants to still not know when we get there.
Yeah. As you guys head further down the road, it gets to early evening, about 6 p.m. You get to the outskirts of Mazrea. And you hear a man shouting out. Zach! Zach! Anyone please help! Screaming out in all directions, running around, shouting for Zach, Zach, anyone please help. Over and
Isn't Zach the kid?
Just run up to him. You alright?
You run up to a tiefling man. His wife at his side, bawling her eyes out. It's our boy. I'm missing.
What does
They're
he
an
look like?
attractive couple.
They
Quite
are.
attractive.
A very
Fault of
attractive
AI.
couple.
What can I say? What have I done? What else? I was gonna see. Naomi. Yeah, as you as these sort of he describes the boy, you would know immediately it was the boy with the cat, especially as they also describe the cat, which isn't really a cat. In fact, the mother says that hellish cat. Maybe he's gone chasing it. Do you think he's gone chasing it? Thomas, do you think he's chased the cat? I don't know. He's never gone too far from home before.
Well, a couple of days ago when we left the city, we did stumble across him.
You're the ones who
like
got the cat
your
out the
boy
tree.
that. Yeah.
He said that there was a cat that saved the cat. We thought he was dreaming. I see what he means. Thank you so much.
Nah, that's alright. I'm the cat.
But he's missing. What are we gonna do? No, he wouldn't go far. Not the sort of lad to go far. We would stay at home and keep an eye on him, but both of us work very long hours. It's not easy to get. Well, anyway, that's not. You help us find him.
Yeah, of course.
He was here at lunch. Only I came back to give him lunch. I always come back to give him lunch. And, he was here about, I don't know, 1 o'clock. We ate together.
Okay.
Ringo's got passing traffic behind him. That's great. Yeah, he sort of asked you if you'll help look.
Of course.
Doesn't know how to suggest. So just a reminder,
It's all
in this
right.
area there's like very sparse woodland, so there's a tree every 40 or 50 feet, maybe. They're very big trees, though. I think we have a...
Your son, does he have a favorite place?
Yeah, but it's here. Right here! And he'll lead you to just like the edge of the tree bit where there's a little den like carved out on the side of the tree where his son normally would stay. As you guys have a look in here, is anybody gonna sort of climb into the hole, have a look around? I think most of you could fit.
I'm just going to, for at least a couple of times, yell for him as they are doing, but I have the amplification crystal.
As your
Just to
voice
yell
sort of
louder?
echoes out, you hear this Zach sort of. Give me a perception check. Belzekis and person with the highest perception, Freya.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it is.
Freya will.
13 from me.
Hear any response other than the echo of your voice. Anybody clambering into the hole? Then
Yeah, I will.
yeah, it's much more Boxo sized. Boxo as you came in. Give me an investigation.
That is a 19.
You can see that a couple of things were pinned into the walls of the den. They've been taken down. And also, as you look at the back, there's sort of something scratched into the dirt. And as you look at it more closely, you're not sure if it's a map or it's sort of. It definitely looks like almost a kid's version of a map, if you imagine. So it's he's on a real version. It's not like a topographical map or anything like that. It's like he's doing an extended picture journey. As you get your own map out and compare.
Yeah, does it? I wanted to see if the information added to the map.
It doesn't add to the map because it's not a real demonstration. It's a kid's idea.
Right.
It isn't real. But you sort of recognize that if you were to head off into the trees to the west a little bit, it might resemble that. You can see like the pattern of the trees immediately from this den's view. And it won't take you long to realize that he's drawn it from the point of this den right here.
Right.
So you can just look out and you can see like the line of trees he's gone between. Or at least he's drawn that picture to do that.
Yeah, then I'll just take out some like paper or whatever and
Have any paper
copy
or
it.
parchment?
I think we all know the answer to this.
You can ask a wizard. You'll definitely have some paper.
Yeah, but he needs that for scrolls.
No,
You can't make
I'm
scrolls, you
willing
can only read them.
Yeah, sure. Then I'll ask. Petra, do you have any spare parchment?
of course. If you found something, Boxo.
Would you also have some spare ink and quill or charcoal?
An ink pen, yeah.
I will present both things to Boxo.
Writing implements.
I'll take the charcoal. And yeah, I'll just sketch out. I'll just copy the map, quote unquote.
As you're doing this, the woman sort of looks over your shoulder. It's the way to the mines. He's come
Mines?
with me a couple of times. I used to work at the mines, but I don't anymore.
Why not?
It was long. Wasn't home to make dinner.
What would he be seeking there?
I don't know. Can you?
That's all right. Yeah, let's just go. Let's just go.
And she breaks into a run towards the mines. Boxer, you will note that she follows the exact path on your map.
Oh man.
But
If I just asked her to look in there, she could have told us it's the direction to the mine. I won't have to waste this paper and
it's
charcoal.
one piece of parchment. Your charcoal will last. One piece of parchment is not a grand tax for a solution. Besides, your interpretation of it is probably far easier than a little looking at a mud drawing.
Yeah.
Okay. And as you guys sprint along this path, you see the trees that he's drawn. I don't even ask for a check. I think it's fair to say that between the group, you would notice a couple of times on the trees, you will see something stuck into the tree.
What is it?
Yeah, as you get closer, give me a... If you have alchemy tools, just give me an intelligence check.
Sure.
I'll take this from Pietro as well.
That is a 14.
An intelligence check, you said?
Yeah, just a straight intelligence.
No proficiency.
No, I don't think so.
Dirty 20.
Okay. It's bloodgrass. You know that it gets used sometimes with stamina potions. You can also just eat it as it is as sustenance. But he's sort of put it in arrows towards where he's going. Or someone's put it in arrows towards where he's going. You don't know it's him, but it is at a kid's height. And not only that, but it seems similar to the pins that were in the wall that you took out in the den.
Perhaps the boy is directing us.
As you run and run, you see he has left a sort of marking over the mine entrance that is now closed down. Moretta sees this. They closed the mines. They've closed that recently. Only 4 days ago I was coffee with Sandra. She was down. We used to work together down there. She was still working there 4 days ago.
Many things are changing after the Emperor's assassination.
It's true. Oh, you don't think he's in there, do you?
Yes, I do.
It seems like it.
You do see that there is a door that is barred and locked. But immediately you will note there is a small hole in the side of the wooden front. Just about big enough for a child or a kobold.
Cool, I'm going to charge the door.
Okay, you run into the door, you rebound very quickly, and somebody will need to advise you to remove the bars. There is no way you're going to break the bars. They are iron.
Okay. Okay.
Taking off the bars, there's a lock that you may... It's also it's a big heavy chain with a padlock. You could potentially break the door, or you could attempt to unlock the locks. It's up to you. Now that you've removed the bars.
Yeah, I
Or
mean,
do you wait for one of these two to unlock?
I'll look to our thief types.
Boxer, you're up, mate.
Anyone know how to unlock a lock?
Although I am being presumptuous.
Perhaps a resident escape artist.
I'm certain I can, but
I can try.
Yeah, very quickly as you get close, you'll notice it's not a particularly sophisticated lock. It's just heavy duty. And you can unlock it with these tools. I don't need a check. It's very simple. You just twist it.
Yeah, I take out I don't know if you guys have seen Thieves' Tool before, but his are not that. His are little scraps of metal that he's bent into a crooked shape to try and fit into holes and stuff like that. It's very, very big shift.
As you open the door, you will see it. You will see a big sign immediately inside the door that just says, "Closed until further notice. Do not enter. Dangers in the mines."
The mines.
And just behind that, you can see like a couple of. It's as if they've tried to collapse it. There's like barriers and pillars that were propping it up, sort of blocking the way slightly, but there are gaps big enough, even Toothy or Pietro to be able to crouch and get through. Veretta, the mother, sort of makes to just dash in.
Oh no.
No doubt
Full
this
send
foolish
it.
child.
Let's get-
No doubt this foolish child takes after his mother.
Jesus.
Back and he's a bright child. He wouldn't go in without a reason.
Well, I can see that you have a reason, but perhaps we should go in your stead.
You can come with me, but I'm not waiting here. I know these mines. I used to work in them. Come on. And with that, she sort of conjures a little flame in her hand as a light. Just heads on down.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's rush in.
Yeah.
As you guys charge down, hear this cry.
Does the dad follow us?
No, he waits by the door. You can see he's looking very, very
He's
nervous.
like, this ain't my child.
No, he's just standing there. He's looking very, very nervous. And in fact, I think he would grab hold of Zekis' shoulder. We'll find him, right?
Of course.
I don't think I'll be helpful. I don't want to hold you back.
Then get your hand off my shoulder.
Right. Sorry. Just
I will light a candle with prestidigitation and head off.
what did you guys do with the candle of the deep? 2 candles of the deep.
We did them, I think.
We have him.
Is that what you might? Because they don't burn down. Would you light a candle of the deep or?
Sure. I mean, it's not underwater, so I wasn't thinking it was necessary. I have.
No, they
several
don't.
candles.
Because they're magical, they don't burn down at all. So you can light them at a hand. But you can light a real candle if you
That's
want.
fine.
Either way, as soon as you light a candle, she sort of turns back and. If we come across orange clouds, you've got to put that out. Okay.
Of course.
If you've got a magical flame, it's much better. But those, they can go boom. Right, okay. And then you hear this cry, this very faint cry that just sounds like pain, sadness, and lostness. It's definitely a female. It is not the boy. You know that 100%. It sounds like a young girl.
It's happening.
That
Now,
was
yeah.
it. He sort of turns. Someone else is trapped? Maybe?
A friend of your boys.
It's only friends the cat.
Come on, let's keep going. We don't have time for
Perhaps
this.
something false luring him.
Say that. And as she heads on down and you hear this cry coming out, you hear this deep, deep rumble like the movement of a large creature. Anyone spent any time underground? You want a mason? Pietro, you've heard of these sounds before. They're usually the sounds of a tunneling worm. Usually very big. On that note. And
Dun dun dun.
welcome to the timeless tradition of MVPs. We had a rather fabulous recap from Joe, so we will start with Josh, your MVP.
Yeah, I really liked the dragon. He was very fun. Although there was like a little silly moment where he's like this really like outrageous and out there like being, and then Vel was like he was like trash talking the other team, and Vel was like, and they broke the bridge, and like the dragon just switched personas. Like, yeah, why did they do that? It's strange, right? That was weird.
Well, what he actually said, I think, was, yes, why would they do that? And then carried on. But yes, he was a little confused. More confused why when he was like, you know, thieves, scoundrels, rogues, and you were just like, bridge breakers. He was like, okay.
Yeah.
What do you say? Jack.
It's got to be Boxer's. Like, how dare you steal from the fucking great bronze, dude? Like, you fucked up. Like, how despicable. Like, you could, like, Josh, you could feel it. It was fantastic.
You should
dude.
be ashamed of yourselves.
I know.
Good.
But coming across from Boxo's like quiet demeanor, like he was, you know, you were still like, all like you were still Boxo doing it, even though it felt like really like serious, and yeah, it was really well done.
Rico.
Yeah, definitely. Box overcoming his anxiety to confront the group was definitely a big highlight of the session, I think. But I also have to give a little side one to Krusk for just being unhateable.
Yeah.
The good lad,
Like-
isn't he?
Fucking guy, he's just like, I want to hate these people, but like, too good.
Yeah, he's just very frustrated. Like, you're evil, you're stupid, you tried to steal from a dragon. Like, oh, I'm stuck with you. I'll be your shield. Joe.
I liked the entire anticlimax of the dragon situation. But in particular, that, you know, obviously coming at it from my own interests, like that it set up a like reason to be like almost self-disappointed. Like, wasn't really disappointed with the situation, but then that let Toothy encourage Velzekis, which is an insane thing to have happening, right? Like, he's just such a sort of confident asshole, but then to have good old everybody can do it guy have to also help even the asshole, I think was nice.
Yeah, it's been really nice to see some real shifts in party dynamics within the session. Right? Just briefly in moments where one person understands something better, or is a moment like the idea that your little tiny timid kobold was the one making the threats, the idea that your overly arrogant and self-confident lizard was the one who was shaken by the events. You know, those sorts of things were really cool to see. I really liked it very early in the session. You guys were talking about like, feeling against looting. I think it started off with Pietro saying, I'd never looted a human. But then it was a wonderful line, I think it was also from Rico, which said, encouragement to Toothy taking something. This is better in the hands of a hero than a villain. In regards to the scimitar. And I wrote it down and gave you the inspiration straight away because I thought it was great. I did give out a few inspirations today. That was one of them. I think there were a couple of others. One to Josh when he made the threats. There was one to Velzekis for the humbling moment. But what I really liked was when you guys met Bo, the orc. And Jack, you were talking about, but they're not all evil. So, because Bo's not evil. So the whole, we're approaching racism from such an abstract standpoint as well, which is really interesting. And it's almost like the whole group can see the reason for not letting the orcs into the city, but are still disagreeing with the fundamentals of like, but if that orc's good, then why is it happening? And there was a really telling moment where somebody said the intricacies of the human population are not like the animal kingdom. And what's interesting about that sentence is the word human, because it really was like, most of the population of Mazrea are the Dragonborns, but in so much of D&D, it is the humans who are less, they're not a good race, a bad race, whatever, they're the only race really who are completely capable of absolute evil atrocity and total hero good and everything in between. And it was so interesting to hear them praise the human population from a lizard and a cat and a stone man and a mini dragon. And a satyr, I guess, but she was quite quiet today. On which note, yeah, Jay wasn't able to join us. She was off joyriding in Jamaica. She has injured her metatarsal and will return to us by next week, we hope. But yeah, I think you guys did a great job. It's going to be really interesting seeing, obviously, when I first put the idea of a group name to you guys, you were saying that, you know, what about the band of the dragon? What about the dragon? Whatever. And I was saying, you know, it's such a... You've left that behind now, right? That quest is... Session 4 is done. It's one session later than I thought, but hopefully he does propel you into go out and do great things and explore these things and fill the map with your deeds was his, you know, the idea behind it. Was how you sort of forge into a group. So I hope that comes across and works and makes sense. And there's a little mystery which... You got something very incidentally because you specifically asked the forest gnome how the trees were. So whoever did that, I think it might have been Rico. You got way more information at this point than you were meant to have got because you asked.
And
that question.
Pietro actually asked that like not really seriously. He was just like, she was talking to the tree the last time, so he's just like, "Well, how's the trees? Like you've been speaking to them, right?"
Yeah, and it's really interesting that you've got a real hint of maybe link, and well, credit
Some
to
underlying
Jill as
problem.
well for bringing up that link in Archer as well. Even if she seemed bemused, it was definitely interesting. Anyway, that is almost where we're going to end. That just goes to me to give you 150 experience points.
Hey.
So these 150 experience points are for effectively meeting the dragon, but more so getting the map and going forth and becoming the Unchained official group. I don't think you did anything useful on the road, though you did get to meet the Jazara clan. I think I said Jazra when I was reading it out because I was confusing myself with the fact they were talking about Vazra. But it is the Jazara clan. His name, Lionel Jazara, is somewhere.
I got Lionel out of it, so yeah.
Cool. But that is where we're going to end. So if you guys would like to say goodbye,
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
we shall see you soon.